Sarah Jensen, Technical Editor of Power in Motion, and today I'll be speaking with Russ Schneidewind, OEM Sales Manager at HydraForce, about current trends in the fluid power industry, as well as technology the company anticipates seeing at IFP 2023. So maybe just to start the conversation, what are some of the major trends HydraForce is seeing for hydraulics used in mobile equipment applications today?
Sure. We're seeing a definite demand increase in electronic controls. More and more electronics are being added to machines, and we're seeing machines, with less dependency on mechanical, manual lever type controls for the hydraulics, as well as even hydraulic pilot controls. And I think there's a lot of advantages that the OEMs are reaping from that change to electronics as it becomes more affordable, and also it offers more opportunity for the operators as well. Like some of the attachments that are being used on some equipment are electronically driven or electronically managed. And so the controllers are starting to become more powerful and therefore driving hydraulics towards more electric over hydraulic control. And with that, I think we're also seeing a trend toward increased demand for precision in proportional control. And sometimes this even includes, sensors for feedback, so that they can get that more precise control of their hydraulic actuators or motors. In addition, there's this increased demand for improved efficiency, energy efficiency. Hydraulics has been kind of spoiled over the years, I think, in that we've always had this big diesel powered engine on all the mobile equipment on the vehicles, and now with more and more stringent regulations and higher costs for the fuel, we're getting to the point where hydraulics has to really change and become more efficient as part of the system on those vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So are there any key features that you guys are seeing OEM customers are looking for from their hydraulic components, and how are you guys maybe going about providing those?
Yeah, I think the OEMs, we think they're clearly prioritizing increased availability and uptime for their machines, as well as, productivity and performance, along with lower total cost of ownership. And then, like I mentioned already, compliance with regulations. So, hydraulic components are going to need to be, provide more precise proportional control, like I mentioned. And that's going to require us to, reduce hysteresis and improve response time and repeatability, not only from valve to valve, but even within the valve performance. Additionally, customers are looking for improvements in power density, more power and less weight. And they're also considering, connectivity, how can they take data from the machines? And since hydraulics is an integral part of, operation of the machine, there's got to be data being provided from some of those hydraulics, as well as, again, I mentioned energy efficiency. So HydraForce, we're continuing to focus on developing a growing new cartridge valve products that, where we integrate more electronic controls, some sensor technology as well. And that allows us to decrease that hysteresis, like I mentioned, and improve our valve-to-valve repeatability. And the cartridge valve style, has always been really a component that facilitates compact and lightweight, for the most part, designs and systems to optimize the power density. So that's some of the stuff we're really focusing on, as well as looking at materials that can maybe handle higher pressures or designs, manifold designs that can be more compact and more robust for higher pressures and longer cycles as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So we know IFP is coming up in a few weeks here.
Yeah.
What are some of the technologies HydraForce is maybe interested to see or learn more about while at show in March?
Yeah, so we're really interested in continuing to, see what kind of sensing technology is out there. Bosch Rexroth, as now we're part of that organization, Bosch Rexroth already really does have a strong lineup of sensing technologies. We're also just interested to see what else the industry has developed over the years since the last show in 2020. And we're looking for stuff that we can integrate into HICs or manifolds and also into cartridge valves as well. And we're also kind of interested to see where companies are progressing with respect to telematics and remote access technologies. Bosch Rexroth also has the BODAS system that they've been offering the marketplace for some time, and HydraForce as well has been entering the marketplace for telematics and remote access as well. And we just want to see, we think there's some things that we hope to see at the show that might give us better, I guess, vision into what's going to happen in the marketplace for construction equipment, let's say, and what's being developed by some other companies within our industry in that technology as well.
Okay. And are you able to share at all what maybe technologies or trends HydraForce will be highlighting at IFP?
Sure, absolutely. At HydraForce booth, we'll be showcasing our new Intercept product line. That's what we call a digital proportional control, and it is the integration of a position sensor and LVDT, as well as a PID loop controller, plus a really clever and easy to use GUI, graphic user interface, based on our HF Impulse software. And that really is kind of what, addressing some of the trends we already discussed, of needing more precise proportional control. And also it can provide information back through the CAN bus network. And so that also enhances the information that might be stored or relayed over the telematics systems that are being developed. We're also going to be showcasing again our HF Impulse software graphic user interface, but it's 2.0 this year. We've come out with a new version. Originally, we developed HF Impulse for those hydraulic engineers, let's say, who maybe weren't so comfortable with programming controllers. This was at a time where we were seeing a transition in what types of hydraulics were being used, this trend, this move, like we originally started talking about, to electronic controls. And HF Impulse was a way, the original HF Impulse is, I should say, a way to program or configure library already compiled program. Now we're still having that option available in Impulse 2.0, but we're also expanding it so that people who have become more comfortable with programming can do more in-depth and customized programming in C++ or even structured text, where you can copy and paste a program into it as well, and also be able to store these as their own libraries for future use in other projects. So the ultimate goal of that graphic user interface or that software is to really speed up development for customers who are integrating electronics and hydraulics. We're also going to be showing a new product that's our first step into, say, a load holding or motion control market that HydraForce typically hasn't been involved in. It's called an EHBL. It's a electro-hydraulic boom lock valve. Okay. And it's based on a different type of technology than what's typically used in the industry today. And so, yeah, we want to show customers how it can improve performance and energy efficiency through, lower pressure drop and maybe even some potential for storage of energy for reuse in hydraulic systems on construction equipment. Now that we're integrated with the compact hydraulics business unit of Rexroth, we're going to have some products in our booth related to compact directional valves, compact power modules, and compact motion control products, and also kind of showing, like I mentioned earlier, how we're going to be able to integrate the wide product range of HydraForce's cartridge valves and HIC capabilities with those products as well. Lastly, we're kind of excited again. We did this last show in a way to have what we're calling a collaboration zone, and we're inviting those OEM those original equipment manufacturers to come over to our booth in IFP and meet with some of our highly talented application engineers and have real discussions about, problems they're seeing on their machine and solutions that we can provide, as well as in that collaboration zone, we'll be demoing, HF Impulse 2.0 and our manifold software package iDesign, as well as the compact hydraulics choose their program for putting together compact directional valves and compact power modules, as well as HICs. And just trying to really, use that time and that space to really come up with good business solutions for customers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Well, it sounds like there'll be a lot of great things to see at HydraForce's booth then. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today and provide some insight into the industry trends HydraForce is seeing, as well as what you guys are looking forward to seeing at the upcoming IFP show.